My mom told him, Sheikh, there's definitely something wrong. I can see the way you're looking at my daughter that you are very, very angry with her. Please tell me, what has she done to anger you? Because I do not want you to mishandle her. She's been through too much in life. So rather teach her and guide her with what she's doing wrong. I don't care if this marriage is 6 weeks old. If you're not going to treat her like she should be treated, then she must please just leave this marriage. And he just kept quiet. And he looked at his phone. The next 2 days, he was quiet with me. He didn't really speak to me. And, you know, when we got married, he told me, I love the way you look. And I said, it's makeup. And he said, please, will you look like that for me every day? And I said, okay. Now, every day I would dress up. I would put on the makeup. I would have my jewelry on, a chain necklace. I would have bracelet on. I would have my high heels on, and I would. He wanted me to use black lip liner, so outskirts of the lips are black, and then red lipstick, and it was just like a rush for me. And I would wait for him outside on the stoop, and he would then come with my car, and he would park, and he would just smile and look at me with so much love and admiration. And he would sit there and he would take a pic for his wife and send it, and she would be so happy, that I am making her husband happy. It was strange, but we were like sisters, we were like soulmates. We called each other soulmates. And then he came home about 2 days later, and he just acted like normal. He came in with this big smile on his face. I can remember my sisters were here, and I was busy with the dishes, and I looked at him sideways and I greeted him, but I didn't smile with the same enthusiasm that he smiled at me, because I thought to myself, listen, I probably did something wrong that angered you, and surely you need to discuss it with me so that I can prevent this from happening again. But nothing was forthcoming. So I fed him, and then he left for his class again. The evening, I'm all packed up, ready with his supper, and I'm waiting for him to come fetch me. Now we're going to his room. No Sheikh came. I'm waiting, and I'm quite embarrassed now because my mom was there. I said, Mommy, I think I'm going to sleep here tonight. I'm tired. He can go home. I don't feel like. Mommy said, okay, fine. And then the next night, he didn't come. The third night, he didn't come. I'm sending him messages. I'm phoning him. Nothing. So after the fourth night, he phoned me. Now curfew, we have curfew, 9 o'clock. He phones me after 12 the evening. Aisha, keep yourself ready. I'm coming to fetch you now. So now I'm excited. Whatever happened, that is all gone and forgotten, because the love of my life, I'm going to sleep next to you now tonight. So I'm happy. I'm packing up, and I'm obviously now scared because my mom is going to scowl, because now what if we get arrested? But anyway, he came to fetch me, and we went. And then we sat outside and we discussed. I asked, Sheikh, what is wrong? Why is it that you didn't come fetch me? And then why is it that, we're newly married? We're not even married for 2 months. How can we sleep apart like this? I mean, I miss you. You don't even pick up my calls. And I said, I feel like I can't live without you. That is how much I love you. He says, listen, don't bring issues. Don't spoil my evening. Just keep quiet, and let's just continue with this marriage. don't bring issues. Thought, okay, now I need to just keep quiet. Otherwise, he's going to abandon me again. I walked in, I swallowed my pride, I fed him, and then we went to bed. Like absolutely nothing happened. He woke up, and now we just continue our marriage again. And I'm happy. And I started teaching with him at the madrasa in the masjid, and it was just it was bliss. I would catch him gazing at me sometimes with so much love, and just the glances that we stole, and the students would get so excited because obviously it's the first time they see their sheikh in love, and it was just a blissful life, alhamdulillah. And then my friend, she organized for us that she was going away. So she said we can stay there for the weekend. And she just made it like a bruidskamer from over again. And we enjoyed ourselves. We were alone. We had a house to ourselves. So it was like a second honeymoon again. And then we thanked her and we went back to our room. And we continued our life, and we were very, very happy. And then after that, she went away again. And then she said, please, Aisha, Sheikh, come sleep over again. I'll turn my suite into a honeymoon for you again. And we said, yes, shukran. I asked him, he said, yes, shukran. And then something happened, Ya Rab. I can't even remember because something so trivial can spark him like you cannot believe. I think it was that I was driving and I bent over and my phone rang, and I bent over and I picked it up. I answered my phone, and he said, couldn't you wait until we parked before you answered? And I said, Ahmed, baby, it's my son. And he kept quiet. Then he was quiet again. He didn't speak to me. Then the Friday came. Now I am all excited now. I bought the pizza. I bought everything. We're going to Auntie Saida's house, and we're going to stay there for the weekend. A house to ourselves again. We're going to be like a normal family. And then he said, no, I'm not going. Phone her, cancel, phone her, tell her we're not coming. I said, Sheikh, I can't do that. She's already at her holiday destination and her key is in the letterbox. So I can't do that. He said, you go. I don't want to go. I said, please come with me. He said, no, you go. Take the car, you go. So I went. And I thought, maybe he will surprise me and come. The whole weekend I stayed there. I cried because he's not answering my phone calls. He's not messaging me. Nothing. I spoke to his wife and she said, you know what? That was your test. When he said go alone, you were supposed to stay. You had no right to go alone without him. I said, but he gave me permission. She said, you are not supposed to go anywhere without him. You were supposed to just stay and cancel. You showed that your friend was more important than your husband, listening to him. Ya Rab, I went back home. He didn't want to open the door for me. I knocked and knocked. iPhone, he didn't answer. And I went home. My mom asked, Aisha, what are you doing here? I said, no, mommy. Sheikh not at home. Okay. Then his wife phoned me and she said, listen, I'm going to speak to him now and I'm going to ask him to open the door for you. So I said, okay, shukran so much. I went back. The door was open. I got in into the room. He didn't even look at me. He didn't speak to me. I slept there. We have a double bunk bed. He went to the top bunk and he slept there. He just pulled some of the blankets off from me, but it was such a force that I got such a shock, and he just got onto the top bunk. When you see someone so angry, it's like Bighairi Noor. There's no Noor on the face at all. And you think, is this the same person that loves you so much? How can they change in a split second? Anyway, he slept there. He took me back. It took me to my mom again. Didn't take me for teaching. He dropped me by my mom's place. Then he didn't pick me up again. For 1 week, I stayed at my mom. He did not pick me up at all. He blocked me from WhatsApp. He blocked me from normal phone calls, so I couldn't get a hold of him. Then, what I did? Luckily, I had my car. His car was fixed. So what I would do, I would go and buy fruit in the morning. I would sit and park outside the masjid. I would peel that fruit, put it in a little Tupperware, put some plain yogurt over it, and I will go take his breakfast. Now, I must walk through the masjid in front of everyone. There's Arabic classes going on, and then I put his Tupperware on his desk, and I say, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, how are you? He hardly acknowledges me, and he just says, Wa alaikum salam, alhamdulillah. Then I turn and I walk out again, and my heart is breaking. Then lunchtime, I cook a nice meal for him with rice and everything. I take it hot, take it there again. And I can see students standing around him, because 2 o'clock the school closes. So his students are standing around him waiting for their parents to come. And they're joking and they're having conversation. And you know what? My heart is breaking because I want that attention from my husband. And he's not giving it to me. He would rather speak to his students and ignore me. I would greet, put his food down, and I would say Assalamu alaikum and leave again. Then I got one step more clever or cleverer. What I did, I asked, can I do hifz with you? And then 2 o'clock, when I take his food, then after that I stay and I do hifz for an hour. So, alhamdulillah, I had an hour with my husband, and then the heart softened again. Then he would come and fetch me. And that is how our life went. I would go look for him, because I miss him. And then I see, okay, he's not answering my calls. And I would drive to the house. His car's not parked there. Then I would drive to a Nova Park to see if he's by his friend's place. If his car is there, I would go knock on the door and I say, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, yeah? And they say, yes. And I'd say, baby, I'm here. Then he would come out. And I say, baby, I miss you. And he says, okay, I don't know what time I'll finish. I will phone you when I'm done. And then he'll phone me probably about past 12. He's at home. I can come over if I want to come over. And that is how our life was. My marriage, it became a very sad marriage. It became a marriage of so much heartache. And I hid everything because my kids didn't want me to get married. My mom told me 6 weeks into the marriage, Aisha, leave, because his anger is a problem. And I didn't want to listen. I loved this man. I still love him. Up till today, I love him with all my heart. And then, slowly, he used to send his recordings for his Jumu'ah. He used to lead the Salah for Jumu'ah. And, it was so amazing. He would send his recordings every week. And then he stopped sending it to my mom. And my mom asked, "What's going on, Aisha? Why are you at home more than what you are there? Why is your husband not coming to fetch you? Why is he not messaging me anymore? He doesn't even come in to greet me." And she developed such a love for him because he treated her better than what we treated her. He showered her with love. He used to kiss her on her forehead. He would take her hands and kiss her hands and sit and recite for her. And he would just make her laugh so much. And he had such wisdom. He told me, never tell your mother your problems. Never offload your problems by your mom. She's old. She needs to be happy. The last few years that Allah gave her should be years of happiness. So we should keep her happy. Never make her angry. Never make her sad. So I couldn't believe, what is happening. And my mom yearned for his love and attention because she became so accustomed to it. She looked forward to his recitation in the afternoon when he comes for lunch. After lunch, he would teach his children online in Africa, and he would sit by her and he would smile at her, and we would all enjoy that. And now that we were robbed from all of that, and we had no idea what happened. So I would continue trying to feed him. I went to Maitland. I I bought all the different vegetables, that we don't really eat that. But I watched the YouTube videos and I cooked different meals for him that they get in Africa. Oh, but for the life of me, my pap was always an epic failure. But he didn't really put any demands on me where food was concerned. He would eat anything. He was very easy with that. And my life became one of just making dua. And I thought, I must just have sabr. His wife is having so much sabr. She hasn't been with him for how many years. I must just have sabr. And I have something called conversion disorder, which is a psychological brain disorder where any trauma or any experience like sadness, anger, I don't cry. I'm devoid of emotion. So what happens, my body will cry for me in the form of either a paralysis, a temporary paralysis on the left side of my body, or it would convert into fibromyalgia, which is inflammation in the body. So my body would pain, it would be aching, and I would be unable to get out of bed. I'd be unable to dress myself because I can't lift my arms. It feels like my armpits are tearing. That's how painful it is. So with this, one morning I was there with him, and I just couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move my left side at all. And I wrote to him that I can't move. I have a TIA, which is like a mini stroke. And obviously, he performed the night before where he was angry with me and he slept on the top bed. And he understood because before we got married, I put all these boundaries in place and I told him, Sheikh, with conflict resolution, we need to speak to each other. We cannot go and sleep angry with each other because my illness is such that I am going to get sick if we don't do these things. He understood. We worked out how much money he's going to give me every month, like, okay, 3,500 rand every month, which doesn't really cover much, but with the aid of my sons, which now after 3 months they started coming to the party again, and they started helping and putting money into my account again, alhamdulillah. So now I couldn't move. So he left me at home, and then the next door, the lady in the next room, she knocked on my door. She came in and she said Sheikh asked her to just check in on me to find out how I am doing. And I wrote to her to say I'm okay, because obviously I can't speak now. And then after a day, alhamdulillah, I came right again. But this was our marriage. So Ramadan came in, and I told myself, just please, just hold on until Ramadan. If you want to leave this marriage, just wait till Ramadan, because I wanted to hear my husband, you know. But, if you think of society, another failed marriage, no, I'm going to stick this out. I'm going to make salah, I'm going to make dua. And alhamdulillah, after that sincere dua, then he comes right for a few days, and then he starts with his anger again. And you never know what you did, because he doesn't discuss it. Now, I have learned I cannot backchat him. I cannot raise my voice to him. I cannot argue with him. So I need to do everything. I need to just shut up and do whatever makes him happy. And that is what I tried doing. And then Ramadan came. Hey, and I'm happy because now I've got the opportunity to sit with him, and I go over his lesson with him. And then I see on the big screen, oh, there's my husband coming. And so then he recites, and you'll never believe how nervous you are as a spouse, because you're waiting. Please don't make a mistake. Please don't make a mistake. Then after Taraweeh, I will leave and I will get him at his place. He'll park his car there. Then he'll come to me. I'll feed him a little bit, and then I will listen to his lesson for Qiyamul Layl, and then the other sheikh would come and pick him up by me, and then they would go and perform Qiyamul Layl. Then sheikh will drop him again, and then he slept by me. So the entire Taraweeh, the entire Ramadan was for me like a honeymoon, because I had my husband here every day. It was, Ya Rab, you will not believe how happy it made me feel. It made me feel whole. It made me feel like I am a married woman again, after so long. And it gave me so much of a hope. And then one evening he came and he told me, we were sitting in my room. I just finished listening to his lesson, and he was about to go for Qiyamul Layl and waiting on Sheikh. And he told me, I want a third wife. I said, what? I said, don't joke. You always joke like this. Come on, man. Don't make me angry. Don't hurt me like this. He says, I'm serious. I want a third wife. And I said, yeah, Sheikh, did I give you a reason? What am I doing wrong? You can hardly maintain me. There are months where he just tells me, I'm sorry, I don't have money for you this month. I have other commitments. And then I can't say anything, because then he's going to abandon me. Okay? So I must keep quiet. And then once, I think it happened like twice. And in the third month, I sent him a pic of my credit card statement. I was in arrears of just over 6,000 rand. And I said, Sheikh, this is my debt. Please, you need to help me now. I can't do this. My son's money is not enough. And he told me, I owe you no explanations for what I do with my money. And I said, okay, shukran. Bas, there's nothing more I can say. Because then he's going to abandon me again. So he asked me for the third wife. He is serious. I said no. He said, well, if my first wife says yes, then I'm going to go ahead with it. So I said, what about me? Do I not count? He said, no, that's the mother of my children. If she says yes, then it's yes. He left for Qiyamul Layl. I'm waiting up for him. No husband coming. For the last 2 weeks of Taraweeh, my husband did not contact me. My husband did not take my calls. There is no reason for me to go to masjid, to go and take breakfast or lunch because we're fasting. The school is closed. So what am I to do? You know how heartbreaking it is to go to Taraweeh and see your husband pass on the big screen. And I'm like, oh, mashallah, he's got that great jilbab on tonight. And he's always got a turban. Wow. He looks so mashallah. And I can't speak to him. I hear that voice. Ya Rab. You know, he's got this melodious, powerful voice. And I think to myself, does anyone know that is my, yes, that's my husband. But I can't see him. I can't speak to him. I can't hold him. I can't share a bed with him. And it's Ramadan. You a sheikh. And you're treating your wife like that in Ramadan. Ya Rab, you are a man of Quran. Quran in your chest. And you're treating me like this. Because you want a third wife. And I said no. And you know, one night, there was this lady next to me. Her son also read at the masjid. And she hugged me to greet me one evening. And I said, please make dua for me. Make dua for my marriage. And one night, the sheikh of the masjid spoke about my husband. And he said, did you hear his voice? You know, this man needs no introduction. He's been with us for years. But do you know why he's reading extra, mashallah, this year? It's because he married a Cape Townian. And the lady that was sitting next to me, she turned around and she showed everyone in the masjid there, the lady's side, here, this is his wife. I felt so proud, but yet so sad. Because if only they knew what our situation was like. Subhanallah. That torture, that emotional turmoil that I had to go through.